Well, hey there. In this video, we are calling out all designers who have been on Zazzle maybe for a while, or maybe you've created your Zazzle store just recently, but you want to start to get your designs noticed on Zazzle because you've been posting products for sale and maybe they haven't been found yet. And in this video, we're talking to you about the 3 main points to get your products noticed on Zazzle. My name is Jennifer Clarke, and I'm here with Elke Clarke, who is my mother, and we are a mother-daughter duo team who teach and mentor and coach creatives and non-creatives on how to make money online with Zazzle. And today we are speaking about how to get your designs noticed, which is really exciting because it's very frustrating sometimes when you're posting your products for sale and you hear crickets. There's nothing happening, and unfortunately you're not seeing the sales. You're working hours and hours long and you just don't know what's going on. And so in this video, we're going to be covering those 3 things that will hopefully help you get more views and get your products noticed.
Yes, it is the question that we get asked a lot, and plus it's the first thing that we do with our coaching clients in our programs is look and see what's happening, right? And obviously if they're coming into our coaching program, more than likely that's what the problem is. For example, even our top seller, Brandon, who has now earned over, I guess he's almost at $750,000 in lifetime earnings US, which is a nice chunk of money. He was on Zazzle for 5 years and never earned more than $500 a year. So $2,500 in 5 years is like he was ready to give up before he decided to join our program. And then he realized, oh, I need to do some things to help me, first of all, get noticed, but also be delivering on the products that actually people are looking for within that niche. And so that's all tied in with our 3 things that we're definitely going to talk about here to help you. And just like Brandon, hopefully go from 0 crickets to earnings on the Zazzle platform. Remember, we can't make any income claims.
Yeah.
This is educational. You have to make your own decisions. But we always are trying to get you to be empowered to make the best business decisions for you so that you can make the money that you want on the Zazzle platform.
So we'll dive into number 1 because cover images are something that has popped up in the last couple of years on Zazzle, and it's something completely brand new. And coming from a perspective of where Elke and I first started out on Zazzle in 2008, 2007, but more so in 2008, cover images didn't exist. All you had to do was create your product and post for sale and get the right titles and tags, which we will be talking about as number 3, titles and tags. But number 1 is creating the cover images because this is something new and gives you the opportunity to compete within the marketplace by showcasing your product, which already has like a really great mock-up that Zazzle creates, but then adding your own spin to it really makes a big difference because cover images can be created in one way or another way, and one can showcase the product perfectly and then others can showcase something completely different, like where you have more background noise or the image that you've created that is trying to showcase your product actually doesn't really fit with the product. And what you're trying to do here by creating a cover image is to allow the customer to see what the product would most likely look like in real life, because we are coming from the print on demand space where you can't physically touch something, you can't look at it and feel the texture, you can't really imagine it in real life. You're selling a digital product online, which actually then becomes a physical product, which is kind of interesting. However, these cover images are a make or break for your product. And if you have yet to figure out your own way to create those cover images, then you have to do some research on some programs or platforms, or even use sort of a Photoshop program to make your product even more enticing. Because even if you have the most amazing product out there, if you don't create a cover images that looks nice for the customer to really relate to, then unfortunately you might be actually leaving money on the table just because of that image, which I know it's a bit frustrating for some people because when you're on Zazzle, you're like, all I have to do is create this product, but now I have to do this extra amount of work to sell my product. And a lot of people are not happy about it. But to be honest, it is something that take the extra couple of minutes to do this cover image because it could literally change this product from being 0 sales to a runaway bestseller. And we've had some clients who have had that because of their cover image. All of a sudden, they have this visualization with their customer, and it just really attracts the customer. And because of this image that they've posted on top of their product to showcase it, has made them so much money. And we have the stats for that, right?
And just to back up, because Jen just like gave a ton of information, but cover images product mock-ups, right? Like in
Right.
Zazzle speak, that's what Zazzle says and calls them. But if you haven't been on Zazzle, then you might know them as product mock-ups. The other thing that I wanted to point out is Jen's right. Like even though when we first started out, we didn't have these, Zazzle did have a few to give us that option to just make it look as if, how could I look and see this on a person wearing a t-shirt or something like that. And it is one of the technologies that they had initially that was at least made them stand out from the rest. So
Right.
it's not like Zazzle's never had mock-ups, but as even Jen and I, when we first started, we go like, these are good enough. And the other day, a client actually goes like, well, why can't I just take like a zoomed in shot of that? That because they still have those on the, when you make your products, they still have those, but it's not as lucrative as it is to, and actually Zazzle discourages you from doing that. Instead, you should really try to find some way to position your products better in terms of the background and how, and like an in situ kind of thing where you see it in the where someone's using it, like are they holding it in their hand like a cell phone case, or is it a pillow on a sofa or something like that, which makes much more sense, and allows the customer to, as Jen said, really visualize what something is and how it'll look in their home, or on their person or whatever. And I think that's the key here is you don't sell an empty house as easily as you sell a staged house. And so same sort of deal, you're staging your product really. And because of that, actually Jen and I, even a long time ago, before they had cover images, we on our blogs and whenever we talked about our products and sent out information about them, we always staged our products. And that was, I think, it's one of the reasons why we did so well. And now Zazzle has that opportunity for you to upload those extra images, because before you couldn't add these extra mock-up cover images for your product into the visual area where it showcases the product. So super, super important. Don't look at it as a chore. Look at it as this could make me money. And yeah, time and time again, client after client after client. Always, always, always. The first thing we do, if everything else is good, like it's a good design, titles and tags are good, and everything else is good, and they have it in a collection, change the cover image. And all of a sudden, and not just to any other cover image, it has to be a really, really good one that showcases it in right proportion, like coordinates with it. It really has to attract that customer because it's like your billboard, right? It's basically your advertising. And
Mhm.
it's so, so important. That's why it's number one right here.
And it just actually brings me back as a memory just really quickly before we jump into number 2. When we first created one of our first courses, part of our course material was to actually get some of our clients, if they felt the need to order some of their own products and then take pictures of them. Because I remember we only had the option to do the media files, which was like this really cool portfolio of a folder of pictures on our homepage. You couldn't actually attach images to each of the individual product pages. And I just remember ordering some of my own invitations and then putting them out on my floor or on my table and taking pictures and then uploading them so people could see that they can be real things, right? Because that was always the struggle to get people to understand that once you buy this digital thing on the computer, then it actually becomes some sort of physical product in the end. So yeah, it's very interesting now where the technology has come, where it's easy to even create one of these mock-up photos in Canva or Photoshop, and it's not that hard. So definitely take advantage of that when you can, and it will make a difference for your product. The
Yeah.
second one is put your Zazzle product into collections, okay? Because collections are something that a lot of people don't understand fully and don't utilize properly, where you can really use them to cross-sell and promote and create these browser and buyer collections. We've talked about that actually on this channel before, where you are trying to allow the customer to have that buying experience. Remember when you go to the grocery store and you think that you have everything on your list, but then when you go to some sort of section in the grocery store, or even like a department store, and they have all of the other accessories or things lined up with the one thing that you need, you're like, oh, well, I don't mind spending an extra $10 on this matching pair of earrings that go with my sweater. Or at the end, when you're at the checkout, when they have the chocolate bars and the pieces of gum and all of that stuff, like maybe I might need those things. And so think about that in like real world terms, where in your Zazzle store, creating collections allows your customer to come to that product and browse, but then also realizes, hey, maybe I need some other things that go along with this product. And that's where your multiple sales come in. Plus, on top of that, it is allowing your product to be seen more, because if one product has a lot of weight, we call it, or a lot of traction where it's already popular in the marketplace, you can utilize that popularity of the product to sell other products that might not be as popular because it's in the same grouping, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it is a very strategic way to get other products seen, because of the other product that is already visible, and people are going to it anyway. So it's like the best tool ever that Zazzle put together to have these collections.
And when Elke and I first started out on Zazzle, collections didn't exist either. And so we had to make our own workaround where we would put links in our description and all of those things to cross promote our sales. And yeah, so thankfully Zazzle has now created these collections, which if you are new to Zazzle, like Elke mentioned in the last point, it's more of like an equivalent of creating a Pinterest board or some sort of grouping of products, if you're familiar with Pinterest, where everything is all there. So you can just browse and see what's in that collection and pick and choose and add to your cart.
But don't put every product in the
No,
collection. Yeah, no,
collections
just
need to be
whatever people would
strategic.
like, right? Like they don't have, I mean, they have a little bit of everything at the checkout. Like they have some deodorant, they have some chocolate bars, they have matches and
Hand
lighters
sanitizer.
and like tape and nails or whatever, but it's just one of all the things you might have missed. It's not, but so, and strategy of collections is something we geek out on. We were just talking to our one-on-one client this morning, and it took an hour for us to really get completely clear on everything that this person could do with the collection and that one product that's selling. So collections are very deep. That's why we have like little mini mind training for that, and also we do a lot of training in the masterminds and one-on-ones, etc., as well as the coaching client. People get some advice, but as you get deeper and you get more and more money churning out, and you have bigger and bigger bestsellers, that's when collections even become even more so important to get other products seen and increase your revenue.
Mhm. And that brings us to point number 3, which is SEO optimization for your Zazzle products. And I have here in quotation marks tags, but this also includes your title too, because whenever you create a Zazzle product, because we are working on the internet and the online space, we are literally creating web pages that can be searched by Google bots, by any sort of search engine, not only just being in the Zazzle marketplace. And so you can have, for example, your product be found when someone searches some search terms on Zazzle, but then because the internet exists, you're able to be found on Google as well. And so if you have the most amazing product designed, beautiful product, perfectly done with all of your templates, it looks awesome. Unfortunately, you won't be able to be found if you don't have the proper titles and tags here, because that's adding those tag words to your page and to your product. And so, of course, you know that when you search for something, you always have to think about the customer's mind and their mindset on how they might be searching for your products. Because if you label it completely differently than what it's actually meant for, unfortunately, your product won't be found. And that's one thing that we teach our clients on a daily basis, because your title and your tags are so important for your product to be seen and purchased by your customer.
Just remember, consider each one of the products that you post like a web page, a blog, right?
Hmm.
So, and whether you say web page or website or whatever, but literally it's a blog. So when someone says, "Oh, you have to make a blog," then you have to have some keywords and some alt text, etc. That's what we're talking about, because that is actually what's happening with each one of your product listings. It's so different than Etsy, because it's really integrated into, like, every product listing is integrated into Zazzle's website. And so these keywords are so crucial to not only have Zazzle's algorithms search for them within the Zazzle marketplace, which is on the Zazzle site, but also when Zazzle feeds it to Google, which happens, both the images and the keywords, and if those aren't superb in terms of how they match up equally with what a customer would use to search those, then your products won't be seen, right?
Mhm.
And that's what we're doing here. We're teaching you what to do to have your products seen and found and sold.
Mhm. So thank you so much for watching this video. Obviously, there's a lot more that needs to be spoken about with these 3 points that we can't dive into in 15 minutes, but this is how you can help your products on Zazzle get stand out and get noticed and hopefully be purchased. If you want some more information on how you can learn more with us, then there's some really great links in the description of this video. There's a free downloadable for you, and there's also some links that will help you out if you want to decide to come into one of our courses or programs. Make sure that you subscribe to this video and also give us your feedback. Comment here below. We love hearing what you feel about this video, and then also anything that you've learned from this video. It's really great to understand a little bit more about our community and how you are progressing on your Zazzle journey to success. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Bye.